So this video is going to be a quick tip on shortcuts to duplicating text when you want to add visual appeal and organization to your PowerPoint lecture notes. So let's look at an example of something that you might come across. A lot of times when we work in PowerPoint, we're creating with bulleted lists or items, but let's say that you feel your information would be better without the bullet points. Of course, you can just go up here and turn them off like this, but now let's say you decide you want to do something more visually appealing. Maybe you want to make a page that serves as a visual reference to your learners to help them track where they are in your lecture. A graphic organizer of sorts, you could say, to help them understand how the various chunks of information in your lecture go together. So in this example, let's say you're teaching a long lesson on various types of tumors, and now you want to go deeper into one of the specific lesions, and you've got 3 main points that you want to cover. Of course, you could go slide by slide and just cover everything, but maybe you'd want a visual reference page to show up every so often and sort of organize your content. And you could use a title slide layout page, but then again, you might feel that sort of section page isn't really warranted because you're not delving into a huge section that you want to set apart. You just want to organize your information a little bit. So in that case, you might not want your content to be bulleted or even in the same text box even. Perhaps you'd want each topic to represent a tab of its own. But then what's the simplest way to make sure your formatting is consistent? Well, now that you have the bullet points off, you could always try adjusting the spacing. I mean, that's okay. But then how about this idea? There's something that adds a little bit more visual appeal. Okay, so go ahead and type your first topic and then format it the way you'd like it to look. So here, why don't we add some visual interest by turning it into a button or a tab? In fact, let's try making it blue and let's make the text white for contrast. Now we can copy and paste like this, but then we would have to keep aligning things and trying to make sure everything fits. On the other hand, we could use a keyboard shortcut. So let's do this. Try holding the Control key. Now notice how the cursor under the arrow changes to a plus sign and a box. This lets you know that it's ready to make a duplicate. So now you can just click the box and drag down. An exact copy is made and guidelines instantly show up and they help you stay aligned instead of trying to figure it out later. Now just do it again for your third point. That's Control, then click and drag. So watch the guidelines to keep everything perfectly lined up. Now, something to note, this technique can be particularly helpful if you're pre-recording some sort of online lecture. They definitely help with keeping things visually interesting, especially if you're animating. But to make things even more interesting, consider working with the colors a little bit. Maybe changing the colors of the tabs so that as the lesson progresses, your learners will be following along and progress right along with you. And that's it.